Last thing on the checkup here. Ricky, new trailer for our favorite topic, the Michael Jackson biopic.
Okay.
Michael. In theaters April 24th. I just want quick thoughts on this. We got an absolute Twitter war, a YouTube war from this last trailer. I just wanted to say we got a lot more Coleman Domingo. And I think I see where the center of this movie is going to be now after the second trailer. The first one was just saying, we're giving you moments, we're giving you the red jacket, we're giving you Thriller. This one was telling me we're going to see Michael in the Jackson 5 and then him trying to strike it out on his own and him going on to success despite like the actions of his father. And I thought the best moment of the trailer was when Michael Jackson said, or Jafar Jackson, I need to think. And then you had the response from Coleman Domingo saying, I told you what to think. That line told me what the movie's core is going to be. And this role, I think, is going to be massive for Coleman Domingo. Really transforming here. But the guy who harmed Michael Jackson, in terms of mentally, and maybe was discouraging him to go out on his own, him looking at the Jackson 5 as a brand like Coca-Cola, like he talks about in this trailer, or maybe using him as a motivator, right? His hatred towards him or his animosity towards his dad at that age to go on to superstardom. But I think that's going to be the core of this first movie, which I think is smart, an early stage Michael Jackson movie rather than covering it all. That's the core right there. I think that is a smart move from watching this trailer.
Yeah, when we saw Coleman Domingo get cast in this movie and he was going to play Michael Jackson's dad, we kind of jumped to conclusions that this was going to be the case. And it's turned out to be true, where the controlling father, we see that it's very conventional biopic in any facet, not just music, but sports and whatnot. We've seen this. And I think this movie will be like the Bohemian Rhapsody, same producers, like they're showing you.
Yep.
It's going to be very conventional. And this told me this will be competent. This told me that it's not just going to be music video, concert film. This showed me all right, yes, we are going to do that. We are going to have the controlling father and him going out on his own and trying to be his own man, be his own person. Right. And that's, again, formulaically, that is smart for a biopic, for a star, for a movie based around that. Right. So this is going to be a competent movie, just like Bohemian Rhapsody was. Just will it be too formulaic? Will it be too conventional? I think yes. And especially if it's part one. Especially if it's
this tells me you can make it less of a part one and a part two. It's more like the first one than the sequel. This can be a complete movie in its own right with this type of storyline. Him ascending, him eventually doing Can't Stop Till You Get It, not Rock With You and those songs, and breaking away from the Jackson 5 into Thriller and still feeling the pressure of breaking away from the Jackson 5, what it's done to the family. I think that is a smart way to have, okay, what if the sequel doesn't happen? We can make a cohesive one movie here. But that makes me think, what's going on with the Miles Teller aspect of the movie? He's in this trailer. Is that going to be the real tease of a sequel? How much is that going to be playing a role? How much screen time is Miles Teller going to be? Because I think, honestly, we saw Bohemian Rhapsody, but Oscars, sometimes they really adore these biopics. Coleman Domingo is someone that I think is going to be in the conversation. I think
after Oscar nominee and recently, I think for sure, and especially in that type of role, it's one of those, oh my God, you have to look at that, right? You have to take a closer look at that, right? And I'll say one thing that just caught me off guard watching it: the eyes. Why'd they have to mess with the eyes?
For Coleman.
Yeah, I don't think you have to do that. It's not like he's playing Michael Jackson; he's playing his dad. I don't need to see what his actual eyes would look like. I don't know. Maybe there was something wrong with his eyes, and they'll explain that in the movie. Or I'm just, again,
they were a little distracting.
Yeah, it was for me.
It's already enough distracting to see all the other stuff they did with his face,
yes,
hair and everything like that. You didn't have to
need it. Didn't it? Just let Coleman Domingo act with his eyes.
It does look like Bohemian Rhapsody, though.
It does, as the gloss over it.
And it almost also reminded me of Baz Luhrmann's Elvis a little bit, with how flashy and glossy it feels, and to see the women fainting, and you saw that with the Elvis and everything. I was like, I can't believe Michael Jackson had people in a chokehold like that. A guy who spoke like that. it didn't seem like he had the sex appeal of like an Elvis Presley. That's just not the vibe I got watching him. You know, I know he's
Dancing,
but he's
the
so
dancing.
talented, such a great dancer, gets the women going. But I think people are talking about Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm also, when I'm watching those concert sequences, I'm thinking of Baz Luhrmann's Elvis. And
Yeah.
that's why I think like this movie's coming out, right? Almost a summer release, about to be a summer release. I think it's like I said before, April, which is like for summer blockbuster. It's kind of like early. It's usually before
This
actual
is a
summer.
movie that you like, similar to Bohemian Rhapsody. They want people to go back and see it again.
I still think this is like, with the way it's being marketed, like Elvis did really well at the box office, you know? And then you had Bohemian Rhapsody, it did really well. I'm sticking to my guns. This is going to be a monster at the box office.
The way they're so let me put some context on this. They reshot a lot of this because of the lawsuit.
Right.
And that made, at least I'll speak for myself, me incredibly nervous that this was going to be incompetent, you know, and just they'll have to focus more on the concerts and more on the music videos and like those type of things where they obviously won't cut out due to this lawsuit, right? You had to cut out a lot of the story and rewrite the script at the last second, right? And there wasn't a lot of days to actually film with the new script, right? So I'm not saying this trailer fixes those issues for me, but it showed me that this is competent where they have the core still of this movie. They didn't
They have a reason to tell.
Yeah, there's a reason to tell the story. They didn't have to gut the actual story part of it, the core, when they had to rewrite basically the whole thing, right? And I think like that's what you want to do is like give me confidence to see this movie and say I'm gonna just watch it and I'm gonna understand everything going on, and then I'm gonna enjoy the Michael Jackson actual music part of it and dancing and the show, the entertainment part of it.
Yeah,
That's why I agree with you. I think this is gonna be a monster too now. Like just because the way they're marketing this, I think it's spot on what you have to do.
And like, dude, I'm gonna bring up Elvis again. Like, you had Tom Hanks playing Colonel Parker. Like, that's this with Coleman Domingo. That's why he wanted this role, probably, because he saw like Tom Hanks was a part of selling that movie as Colonel Parker. Like, everyone knows Michael Jackson's dad and what he did for Jackson 5, how he didn't want Michael to go solo. This is like the Colonel Parker of the Elvis movie. Yet another comparison. So I think the Coleman Domingo part of this, I see why he took the role. I really do. And Miles Teller, that's lost on me. You know, that's whatever. I don't know why you did that, and you had to look like that. Now I see Coleman Domingo. This is a great opportunity for him.
I'll say one other thing too. So this movie, obviously, we talk about like what's going to be around the dad, Coleman Domingo. I could totally see us in a few months when we're reviewing this movie and say, "Oh, the first half was actually pretty good," but then when the second half, when he goes on his own and there's no Coleman Domingo, then we have a problem.
Well,
I could totally see us doing that.
That's the thing about this movie. I think the first half will be Coleman Domingo, and the second half is like like feeding fans like moments. You know, like
right, because it loses that story, like the reason you're here, because he goes solo, and then it becomes, can he make it solo? And is there going to be enough conflict within that they're allowed to show because of the lawsuits and whatnot, right? Because if you're already past the Jackson 5 and going solo part of it, now it's like, oh, can he just make it solo, right? And they showed that one. I think they're trying to do that, like with the ambulance scene, right, in the glove, and saying like, oh, but they can't show everything that happened with it. So
the classic, you know, music biopic trope. You know, the downfall of like the guy who's shooting too high for the stars.
And then you have like a part 2. It's like, can they show too much? Can this end on a cliffhanger where it's actually he doesn't come all the way back? He ends actually poorly here. Like, how are they going to approach it? It's fun to think, like, because you don't know, because obviously everyone knows what happens in Michael Jackson's career, and they're not gonna, like, you know, like talk about all these other issues that are obvious.
Staying away.
But it is interesting to see, like, because they want a part 2. Right.
This is why it's like Elvis too, bro. This is like, I'm telling you, like, there's some effed up stuff about Elvis that, you know, Sofia Coppola was not afraid to tackle, but was nowhere to be found in the Baz Luhrmann thing. It's the same thing as this movie, dude. It's going to be really glossy.
Yeah, but this is worse. Like, this is way worse.
Yeah. No, I just once again, like, that's where I'm like, okay, makers of Bohemian Rhapsody, but I'm getting Elvis vibes. And I think you make a really good point. What is the ending? Is the movie finalized yet? You know, do they have a couple different endings in store?
They do. I bet you they do. And
they want to see how, like, what the receptions of the trailers are going to be. Like, what's the likelihood of, like, people are going to go see this? There are probably multiple endings. The movie's not done yet, I bet.
I totally agree. And the thing is, like, oh man, what movie was I just thinking of? The Apprentice with Trump and Stan, right?
Yeah.
That movie like ends with him like quote unquote on top, but it showed him like in such a bad light. He wasn't on top really, right? As in Trump in that movie. This one, you can't really do that because you need a sequel and to make more money. So you need to end it uplifting. And the problem that I'm trying to get back to, where if the first half of this movie is going to be about Coleman Domingo and the Jackson Five, and the second half is going to be about him at stardom and on his own, like you can't end it with him down. So then, what's the second part of the movie going to be?
The
second
lawsuit,
part two going to
right?
be about that again? Him, but 2 hours, and you just do the same repeat of the second half of this movie, where it's just him solo and going up and down, then back up at the end. Like it's going to be the same movie as the second half of this one. So they got to be really careful what they do here, but they have to end it well. So then people leave the theater like they did the Bohemian Rhapsody and say, "Wow, I want to go see that again. Wow, that was great." And then it drove it to a freaking Best Picture nomination.
It could be also the lawsuit aspect. I wonder if that's like more in part 2, and that's why Miles Teller would take that role. You know,
I see.
You know, that's all we have from Michael. Let's leave it there.
Oh, you don't want to do timeometer predictor?
Oh, we can.
This is the official trailer.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
57% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm at a 54.
So that's because I think it's going to be, first of all, his life is polarizing. I think people are going to be critical that the movie is kind of shying away from those moments. I think because of like the lawsuits and stuff, like it's not going to be a true rendition of the Michael Jackson experience. And I'm also a little concerned with Jafar Jackson still. He doesn't have much acting experience. I know he's family, and I know that, quote unquote, he looks like Michael. I still am not sold on all of that stuff. But to have someone that's inexperienced on this movie, I think it's like, I was thinking somewhere it's going to be around Bohemian Rhapsody, which is like at 61%.
Right.
You know?
It's at 60%. And I don't think it's going to be as good as Bohemian Rhapsody. And Antoine Fuqua, not necessarily the greatest director, as in with Rotten Tomato scores. And I just realized I just pulled up our thermometer predictor Excel sheet here. We already did one of these on the teaser, which we usually don't do. And you
really?
did a 57 already.
I did a 57?
Yes.
My next number I was coming in my mind was a 52. You know,
okay.
Yeah. Make it more like split half and half. But the audience, I think, is going to give it like a 89.
Oh, but then I could see the other way around where, like you, like what was the doc Neverland? And like how Canada banned like Michael Jackson music from the radio.
What is
like, I can see the other way, and people bombing this from
what
that
is
perspective.
the Neverland on Rotten Tomatoes in terms of audience?
It's not coming up. HBO's not showing. Or sorry, Rotten Tomatoes isn't showing it.
They don't have it on there. That's impossible.
Leaving Never. It keeps showing the miniseries. Oh, never mind. I got it. Oh my god. All right. So this is crazy. You ready for this?
I have it up.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say guess.
I have it up. You could tell the audience.
So it's a 98% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, 96 reviews. The popcorn meter, 26%.
This solidifies what we're saying.
It solidifies what you're saying, which you were right. This will be an 89, if not 99%. On the popcorn meter, this movie.
It's amazing that Finding Neverland thing got a 98%, and that's like a lot of reviews. Almost 100 reviews for a documentary on Rotten Tomatoes that's crazy. That's a lot. So, and to have a certified fresh next to it with like that content material, absolutely mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing. But it shows that Michael Jackson fans are freaking loud. They are freaking.
And why this movie's going to make $1 billion?
Yeah,